always loved snare drum sounds. It kind of feel like the king of the drums. When I built the first marble machine, I made a really scrappy snare drum was like a wooden container that was filled with rice, and it had a contact microphone, and the sound was mainly produced with the rice bouncing on the contact microphone directly. I thought it sounded pretty cool, and I was pretty happy to imitate a snare drum on that machine. So when I started to build the snare drum for Marble Machine X, I was kind of into the same concept, and I tried a lot of different compartments with contact microphones, and I wanted the drum to look like a snare drum but work like a much smaller version. At this point in the design, I was very careful with space. I thought the drum needed to be very small because we had to have room for a cymbal next to the drum. And this snare drum never sounded really good. I tried pretty hard to mimic a Wolfpack snare drum sound, and I got closer and closer, but it's like, it doesn't matter how much I processed this sound with plugins. And then came a breakthrough because I decided to move the big cymbal from the top of the machine down under the whole machine. And this move of the cymbal made some space available on the top of the machine. So I could actually go and buy this 10-inch by 2-inch jungle snare drum, which was like the smallest real snare drum that I could find. And it sounded so much better. But when I compared this very thin 2-inch thin snare drum with my real snare drums, I still felt it lacked a little bit bottom. It was a little bit high-pitched, like a piccolo snare drum. But I thought, well, I just have to compromise. I felt a little bit down. But then I had an email from Tim Piper from greenbeats.de who offered to build some custom snare drums for the Marble Machine X.
Hey, I'm Tim. I'm a German drummer, music composer and arranger. My band is Green Beats, which is a percussion show, and whenever we need special drums which you can't buy, we build them on our own. Yeah, I used to watch Martin's videos every week, every Wednesday of course, and there were several episodes about the drums. That was my challenge, to build a drum which sounds exactly like he wants it to and only fills in the small space at the marble machine. Yeah. At the beginning, of course, we choose which shell with which wood. In this case, we used Canadian maple and a very thin shell to get a deep sound. Yeah, then about the size, we decided to build an 11-inch drum, which is not very usual. You can't buy 11-inch drums. It was a challenge to get all the parts for it. Some parts we had to build on our own because they are not available, like the bottom hoop for a snare drum in 11-inch, you can't buy it. Yeah, for Martin's drums we choose an oil finish. Usually drums are lacquered or they have a wrap on it, but we choose oil because we wanted the surface to stay a little bit rough, which makes a deeper, slightly dampened sound. You never know if it all works out as you wanted to, but yeah, with these drums we went into an audio recording studio, did a little session with them, and yeah, they sounded great, exactly like they should. usually you get this sound as a 40-inch drum, and we try to get it as good as possible with an only 11-inch drum.
Let's make a quick side-by-side comparison of the sound of these snare drums. This smallest one is actually not a snare drum. I think Tim made an improvisation and built this as a suggestion to perhaps use as a kick drum. But for now, let's not test this one. First off, my jungle snare drum, the one I had before. Second, the 10-inch snare drum from Tim. Here's the 11-inch snare drum with 8 ply, which is thicker plywood than the last one. The 11-inch with 6 ply. So the top drum head of this drum is really low tuned, and you have this super 80s, really dark. So this 10-inch sounds so much better than that 10-inch. But I do like the sound of the 11 inches. So let's listen without the dampening rings. And then one ring. Shorter wolf peck. Another ring. Even more wolf peck. And this one without dampening. Oh, that's so massive. It's like... This one is like a mosquito bite. And this one is like a wrecking ball. Let's compare with marbles. Much less energy in the marbles than in the drumstick. So it's a bad idea, this whole thing, isn't it? Ah, that's impressive. For now we have a winner, 11-inch 6 ply. I want to show something really cool that I did not know existed. So the sound of a snare drum is made by these snares underneath. And normally you have an on and off switch here. So you do this and these become loose. And you control the strength with this screw here. On the other side, Tim has installed a 3-way switch. I've never seen this. So here's loose setting, middle, and tight. I never seen this switch. Normally you would have to go over here and change this. But thanks to this 3-way switch, you have like a pre-programmed tension setting you can switch between. So now I need a way to attach this drum onto the Marble Machine X. There. How beautiful isn't that? That looks so musical, doesn't it? It's tight though. So I need a way to mount it very precisely. And again, Tim to the rescue. He has sent me something that he suggested. How does this work? I've never seen this. Can it be like that? I think if we open this. Yes. Oh, that's awesome. So far, so good. So I found this in my hardware case, lying in my studio. And I think if we do this, we can then manipulate the snare drum in every direction. With this solution, we just need something to clamp like this. So as you know, I want all the instruments to move when they're being hit. And the old snare drum was mounted on a pivoting arm up here. And it wasn't a spring steel, and it did move a little bit. This new snare drum is so much more heavier. I don't think the marble will have the power to move it that much. It will move the drum head, so I'm actually going to compromise by not mounting this on a pivot. I'm going to mount this drum rigidly, Let's just try to finish the marble machine instead. So basically I just need something to clamp this to. Let's go and look if we have something already or I need to weld something on. Am I just going to luck out here? Because it looks like I can use this part. Come on, be long enough. Look at this. That's not moving, that's super sturdy. And then here we have the connection. So on this joint here we can angle the drum forward and backwards, and also side to side. Okay, it's too far out. I need to push it in. It's the one adjustment I don't have at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, this works. Yeah. That is clearing. Hi-hat is clearing. After some tweaking, I got the drum in really good place. Only problem, it's Wednesday and it's 11 o'clock. Can someone please explain to me why I'm always so late? Probably I'm a technical millennial who grew up without boundaries, so I never learned discipline. That must be it. You can see here. I use my yoga mat as dampening. Tim, you're a genius. Genius. Okay, marble machine, you just have to deliver now because I messed up, okay? I'm so tired of myself right now. I'm absolutely so tired of myself. There's cables everywhere. I can't move in my super big studio without falling over something. Woo!
Okay, the eternal disclaimer, I have not corrected the Marble Machine X for timing, or I'm not using the correct microphones. This will improve. My goal in life is to stop using this disclaimer.
So I'm gonna begin with the drums and then add the vibraphone after one revolution of the programming wheel. 4 channels. Ah, the madness. The madness. The madness. I don't have any space to move. I'm trying to build my music studio a little bit serious, so here's my rack. I'm gonna invest in some equipment. Everything is just a scrambled mess. But here's what we just recorded. You can see here the hi-hat ran out of marbles.
So I'm over the moon excited that we can actually have a real snare drum sound. The Marble Machine X will be so much better sounding because of this. And when we go on the world tour, I know that this snare drum is going to fill any size arena completely. Oh, by the way, the music from Wintergatan has been featured in a new virtual reality game, The Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets. This is a puzzle-solving platformer, and I got to try it, and it was the first time I've ever played something in VR. I think we're gonna live in VR in the future, good or bad, but this game is so cute and nice, and I really like how they used the Wintergatan music. It fits perfect with the atmosphere. So check out the just released Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets on all gaming platforms. It's made by a studio in Stockholm. They emailed and said that they were really fans of Wintergatan music, and I'm really happy they used music in the game because I think it fits perfectly. Check out Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets. Thanks to everyone who are supporting this project through YouTube channel memberships and Patreon. Welcome to all the new backers. Your amazing support makes a huge difference for this project and for me every day. Makes it possible for me to just follow my dream. Thanks to you guys. So one more time, check out greenbeats.de, and thank you to Tim and the team from Greenbeats from being a part of the Marble Machine X journey.